Delilah had a very exhausting day. So exhausting. Like, she was just exhausted today when she came back from her play date. She laid in my lap all the way home. Like, usually she sits there and whimpers while we're driving. She didn't whimper all the way home. She was ready to come home. She was ready to get home. Lickety split. Hey, Jenna, it's nice to see you. We have drama-filled bullshit coming yet again. And we've got receipts. I'm waiting for my mods to get in here because I got one. Actually, if anybody walks in here, just tell them I will be right back. I need to send myself one more tidbit of information. Give me just a second. We're going to get started here in just a moment. And actually, I forgot I did send that to me by email. So I want to go through some of the receipts I have. Good night, or good afternoon, me and you, Miss Lee, Mom, Rebecca, Collier. So, of course, JLR and team, along with Barbecue Lady, have not only, this is what they did. They're like, oh, let me tell you, they need to know what type of people they're being associated with. First of all, I'm not a felon. I have not been convicted of felons like Jonathan Lee Riches has been convicted of. He is a piece of shit that has coordinated himself with J is for Justice, another wide open cooter, right? She had an affair on her husband, divorced him, left her children, and then decided to marry another man and decided to go sleep with Jonathan Lee Riches while I was seeing him. So this woman has a hard-on for Bullhorn Betty because I called her out and got her in trouble with her husband. And of course, she lied to her husband like she lied to her prior husband. So there you have it. This is what J is for Justice said. Joe's out. Shamu is in. Change of programming for tonight. Watch party on J is for Justice Discord. You are a piece of shit, J is for Justice. And trust me, your numbers, I don't care how big you get, when I have enough done, when I'm done with you, you're not going to get 1,300 people viewing you. You are the biggest piece of shit on here that has manufactured so many news articles that it's not even funny. News articles. But let's talk about this, okay? And then listen to this. Now, we got J is for Justice. We have Barbecue Lady out there, which Barbecue Lady's going to get her own in due time. In due time. And I didn't send. Did I send the other one? Okay, you guys are going to have to wait because I got to send the other one to me. So now we're going to look at the one that was just sent from the mysterious disappearance, from the lead person in the mysterious disappearance of Sebastian Rogers, that Ellie Mae disgusting piece of garbage that thinks she's hot stuff on, this is what Joe Petito said. Do you know that these people reached out to him and told him that they were going to dox his personal information, his home address. They were going to cause problems with his foundation. They didn't tell them about us. They threatened this man. They threatened this man that if he came on to Seth Rogers' show, they were going to destroy Joe Petito and his foundation. That is what has been alleged here by Joe Petito himself. It's not talking about Seth. It's not talking about Tony. They literally threatened Joe Petito, Jonathan Lee Riches, and crew. His just disgusting crew of people. I told Jonathan if he stepped in this case anymore that I was going to sue him. And so now I am going to sue him. I have claims against him for a very long time, and this last little dig from him and his people, I am going to sue him in Pasco County where he lives. Not Tampa Bay, Pasco County in Port Richey. That's where the man lives. That's where I'm planning on suing him. And I'm going to be also including Miss Jamie Phillips in that lawsuit as well. So it's going to be, I'm over this nonsense. I'm over this thuggery on this platform. I'm over people trying to destroy an innocent man because they didn't get the attention that they wanted. This man worked very hard to make sure, I have to sue people because I'm, you are irrelevant. That's why nobody listens to you. Go make your own channel. Let's see how many people listen to your hate-filled rhetoric. Probably hardly anybody. Probably hardly anybody. But I'm getting so sick of this thuggery on here. And so Jonathan Lee Riches, let me be very clear to you. I know who's behind all of this, and I'm coming for you, sir. You want to do all this dirty stuff to me. You tried to destroy me. You lied to me for over a year. And you think I'm going to sit here while you have your friends destroy everything that this man is trying to do. He was going to talk about the Joe Petito Foundation. All you did was hurt Joe in his advocacy for his daughter in such a ruthless and disgusting manner. Threatening him. We have a no tolerance policy here, and I don't have. Somebody get that asshole out. No, actually, I'll do it. We have a no tolerance policy here. I want everybody that needs to be hidden. Thank you. We're not gonna deal with this nonsense. J is for justice. You need to keep your legs closed first and foremost. Secondly, you and your misfits need to stop harassing Seth. And as a matter of fact, he's already sent all these people cease and desist letters. I think it's time to start executing some lawsuits against these people that want to just cause him harm for no other purpose than to show that they have the ability to cause this man harm. It's disgusting. Joe Petito did not deserve to be treated like that. They didn't tell them about what kind of people they were working with. They threatened to harm him and his foundation in order to get him to not show up. Let's be very clear on what these people did to Joe Petito. I know for a fact, Barbecue Lady, which we are going to start exposing her nastiness, because she won't stop either. And she's obviously not going to stop until there's bracelets around her wrist, because from what I hear, she's already committed a few felonies in the process of doing this. So I hope whoever she committed those felonies against, I hope that they are taking legal action against her. I also found out that she was catering a party and making food while cats were crawling all over her countertop in a very unsanitary work environment. And she fed people that food. That is disgusting to me. That is absolutely, utterly disgusting to me. But you know what? In good fashion, the show is going to go on. I can tell you that there is going to be, it sounds like we're going to be going through some stuff that you guys haven't seen, such as Sebastian Rogers' day at SeaWorld. You know, for this horrible father that hates his son, you know, that just deserves all of this nonsense from these idiots on YouTube. You know what, J is for justice? I hope you get your laugh, but I also hope you get some divorce papers soon, because you're rightfully deserving. How many more men are you sleeping with behind your husband's back? I mean, I'm just curious. I mean, was Jonathan the only one? How many more were there? How many more were there, Jay? How many times did you smile in my face, young lady? I'm just curious. You are a disgusting human. I mean, just a hollow piece of shit of a woman. You have no care for your own children, let alone anybody else's. Why did you leave your children behind? Jay? Does the whole world know that when you left your children? Or is that just Betty must have this wrong, right? You left your kids for a man. And then you cheated on that man. And you want to come up here and have a laugh on Seth, a father that's missing his child, when you left yours? Keep going, boo-boo. Keep going. And you guys are happy that you hurt not only, like, you don't even care who you hurt anymore. You guys hurt Joe Petito, where every single one of you assholes got your name. You guys make me sick. Absolutely, utterly sick. They were going to be talking about Joe Petito's foundation tonight and all the great work that they were doing, but you guys have to ruin everything. Everything. Why? Because it's not your fake bullshit that nobody's listening to, except Jonathan's bullshit, which is half right, half wrong. It depends on what day, what mood he wakes up on the side of the bed. What a lowlife. You guys have just turned yourself from actually being decent people into being no different than the hate channels that used to attack you. You've turned into everything you used to hate. you guys are sick in the fucking skull. Sick in the skull. What the hell is wrong with you people? You always have to be up at everybody's shit. You're like, oh, it's not on my channel, so let's tank it. This man's not even making money. His channel is not even monetized. But I guarantee you would make sure that everybody that came on your channel, I bet you get that click. I bet you get that view. I bet you get that money, don't you, boo? All of you. And Seth doesn't even have a monetized channel, and you guys are still... Does he have the requirements to be monetized? Of course he does. Of course he does. But you know what? If we're going to continue to allow the swamp, the slimy swamp of these social medias to actually dictate, and here's what Ellie Mae says. Joe Petito deserves to know what type of people he's aligning himself with in his foundation. Let him know. Ellie Mae, let him know. You mean threaten him? You mean call him nonstop? She's on TikTok, Karen. Barbecue Lady's on TikTok. She lives in Pennsylvania, where they're not allowed to record conversations. Just saying. And she likes to record a whole mess of conversations now, doesn't she? If I have to think about it, I think she's probably got about, I don't know, about 5, 6, maybe 7 felony charges that could be potentially wielded against her for that. How many other people have that lady recorded when she's unlawfully able to do so? People on this platform don't mind committing crimes. We're trying to stop criminal activity. We're trying to expose criminal activity, but usually our victims are either missing or deceased. But they think this is a game. They think, oh, ha, 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 like a missing boy, a 15-year-old missing boy. Never mind what Gabby Petito had to go through in her short little life. And they are making a mockery of both. A mockery of both. And you know what? Who's it helping? Oh, I bet you it's helping their little bellies. Oh, look what we were able to do. We were able to destroy a man and almost destroy a foundation. Hyenas. Hyenas. Absolute hyenas. And for them to do this to a man that's just trying to advocate for children, that's trying to use that avocation not only to help others, but to find his own son, is despicable and deplorable. It's not admirable. It's not admirable. And I told you JLR would do this. And he hasn't been talking because he's a behind-the-scenes kind of guy. He's a behind-the-scenes kind of guy. That's why he has so much power, is because he's so secret about everything. That stupid bee, Magnolia, has no clue who she's messing with, and he is going to all kinds of screw up that girl's head, but she's probably just as screwed up as him from what I hear. She has mommy and daddy issues. Like her mommy and daddy didn't love her enough and kicked her to the curb, and somebody had to adopt her. Okay? I get that she had a rough life and stuff like that, but to be a piece of garbage and try to stand behind God doesn't do stuff like this. You know who does stuff like this? Evil. That's what does stuff like this, not God. If you think, look at Jonathan, since he's been with all black all the time, occasionally he'll throw out his little crucifix so he looks like he's a Christian man. That man is the furthest thing from Christian. That man is the devil himself, and you guys are too blind to see it. He will manufacture information for a click and a view. He has done it. I did not know he was doing it until I saw it for myself. Didn't you find it funny? Oh, look at this anonymous poster. Oh, look at Mary Smith. Look what Mary Smith posted. Those were all JLR's postings. All of them. He posted them under his troll accounts or anonymous people on these things where he has all of his friends as admins. And then he's able to quickly go over there and have commentary on this nonsense. And every bit of other work he does, what makes him a web sleuth, is everybody else's work. Do you think he could function without Magnolia? Of course not. She does all his work. Just like Olivia and I did all his work before. He sucks. He uses people for content. And she's just too desperate and too stupid to realize she's being played like a fiddle. But this was disgusting. This was a low blow, an absolute low blow to two people that were, two dads that were going through a lot of similar things, and for them to literally attack Joe Petito. They didn't go there to tell him about us. They literally threatened to destroy his foundation and to dox him. That's what was threatened against Joe Petito. And I just want to make sure that everybody is fully aware of what actually transpired. So all these people that are laughing and saying, oh, we're so happy, look what we did. I just want you to know what they really did. What they truly did. They didn't tell him about us. They told him about him. And if he didn't comply, what they were going to do to him in large numbers. That was the leverage that they put over Joe Petito. And if it's my understanding that he will be addressing it as well. But I just thought that was pretty disgusting. A poor display of the pieces of shit of YouTube and TikTok at full force. And the dirty crap that they do to innocent people for no other reason than to destroy. Destroy. It's sad. And if you guys want to continue to support them, then I'm going to ask you, don't support me. Because I can't take any more of this nonsense on here. You guys can leave in the droves from this channel if that's what you guys stand for. If everybody here stands for that kind of nonsense on this platform, please unsubscribe from me because I am over it. I am over the abuse of innocent people for no other good purpose than to destroy an innocent person. It's sad. There's no place on it here in the true crime. These are junkyard junkies, okay? And they need to go back to the fucking junkyard. All of them. They're no good. Tell me what J is for Justice has ever gotten right outside of stealing other people's work. Please. I mean, prove me wrong. All she's ever done is bring in things that have been debunked after debunked after debunked after debunked. Nothing she says on her channel ever maps out. Yet she has over 100,000 people going to her channel listening to her horse shit. What has she gotten right? I'll wait. Please send it to me. Please send it to me. She hasn't. Jonathan Lee Riches. Let's talk about him. Outside of him working with me and Olivia, what else has he ever gotten right? He's got nothing right. Nothing. Even when he was out there chasing Danilo Cavalcanti. He was more of a hindrance than he was a help. How did he help? He was reporting. But he was trying to imply he was actually helping. And he was not. He was not. All these people over and over again constantly do wrong. They consistently do wrong. They do it for the wrong reasons. And now that the light has been shined on it, I'm no longer part of the pack, right? I have no problem throwing them under the bus when they do wrong. They had a wool over my eyes for a very long time. But again, divine intervention. My car broke down for 3 months. And I was able to take the blinders off and see very clearly as to what was going on because I finally had the time I needed to look into everything. And what I found was absolutely appalling, disgusting, and quite frankly, it made my stomach turn. It made my stomach turn that they were willing to do all of this. Send out bunk information, manufacture videos that show Tony playing with himself. Like, come on. It was all to destroy him. Because when they passed around the background check and that didn't do the job, right? Sounds pretty familiar, doesn't it? Almost like the attacks on Trump. Are they using the Democrat playbook here against Seth? Are all these people that used to scream MAGA truly lied to us? Because I don't know any respectable person that acts like this. Just saying. Just saying. So JS for Justice, are you getting your laugh now? How much damage control are you going to do with your husband now? How many other men were there? I mean, we know about Jonathan. So how many more that you want to lie to him about? I bet you I have the number, don't I? The things I know. The things I know. The things I know about a lot of people. It's my job. I don't use it until I need to. It's called leverage, right? It's one thing that I do very, very, very well. When I learn things, I keep them in my back pocket until they're needed. If they're not needed, they stay in my back pocket. Just saying. It's kind of how it rolls over here. People know that I'm a no-nonsense type of person. And when I deal with all of this stuff that I'm dealing with, you know, I feel like there's these people, and they're always the people that have the largest numbers. They all have to feed off of one another. I stand alone. I don't stand with a pack. I'm not going to stand with a pack except the coffee club. That's the only pack I care about, right? Because we're all here for the same reason, and that's to find answers. That's to advocate. That's to do what we can do to make sure that these people that we cover go out far and wide. Everybody says I only talk about cases that are big cases because we make them big cases. That's what people fail to tell you. Sebastian Rogers was not a big case. Sebastian Rogers was not even being seen by hardly anybody. It was social media that brought him to the forefront, me being part of it. Okay? Jennifer Santinello had no help. She was begging for help. Begging. Nobody was taking her daughter's case seriously. Olivia and I stepped in. She went viral. Her mother has been able to now have her own platform where she can advocate not only for her daughter, but for other children. So why is Seth not afforded the same opportunities and rights as every other parent that uses these platforms for coping mechanisms? When they can't help their own child, they try to help somebody else. What is so wrong with that? These hyenas on here will not let this man breathe for whatever reason because he hurt their feelings. Well, let me hurt your feelings a little more. You're a freaking whore. And you can't keep your legs closed. And maybe if you just tried for 1 minute, you wouldn't be such a piece of shit that you are, J is for Justice. And that goes for Barbecue Lady as well, with all her kids and different daddies. JLR is just a disgusting individual that now looks like the frickin' devil and is all black outfits with occasionally him bringing that crucifix. He can't touch his heart because it might burn it. So he's got to keep it on the outside of his clothes so it doesn't touch his skin. I've had it with the bullying on here. I've had it with the bullying of innocent parents on here. And until the audience starts saying enough's enough and unsubbing from these assholes that do nothing but destroy families, I'm over it. Unsub from me. Unsub from me. If you can't unsub for the problems on this platform, then you don't deserve the good parts on this platform. So please, by all means, everybody can go right out there. It's very simple. He doesn't even blink. He's I didn't realize how fucked up the guy was. He's on some type of medication. I don't know what's truly wrong with him, but there's something clearly wrong with the man. Mentally. You know? I didn't know it. You know, like I said, I was bamboozled. I was, blinded. It is my fault. I acknowledge that it is my fault that I was too blinded to see. But honestly, I was in love. So, when you're in love, I guess you don't see what you need to see. But you know what? I got knocked on my ass. What can I say? And then I tried to rise above all of that. I tried to rise above every bit of it. And then I find out that he cheated on me for literally a solid year before I ever even knew about it. And you know what? I still tried to rise above that. But one thing I will not rise above is somebody intentionally and willfully trying to hurt an innocent person for no other good reason than their stupid ass hurt feelings. And then bringing their friends on the ride with them and sending them stuff and having them do their dirty work. I just want to know, all these women that are all on Jonathan, do you like being on your knees? Because I know you're on your knees more than you are on your back. So please just explain it to me and make it make sense. Because I know this was an attack from Jonathan, and I know all of his little tentacles and who says what. And it always leads back to JLR when it comes to this case. Can you explain that to me? Can you explain that to me? Every bit of it always comes back to him. Every bit of it. Yeah. Thank you, Sonia. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Stacy. Don't forget to hit. We have 142 likes, and we have 745 people in chat. You guys are getting a rare form because I have just had it with the bullshit. To do this to Joe Petito, this is a person that I care highly about, especially the work I did with his daughter, being threatened by these hyenas. They didn't go and tell him, oh, you know, about the horrible people that we're working with. What horrible people? I wasn't the one in federal prison for 10 years and a 3-time felon like Jonathan Lee Riches. I've never been to prison. I've been arrested a few times. I've been convicted of 2 DUIs, both 6 years apart, and those were over 2 decades ago. 20 years ago. 20 years ago. What people are they talking about? Frickin' Tony has an impeccable history. I can tell you his history is better than mine. I think he has a bounce check from 30 years ago. Oh my God. Let's stop. We have a 3-time convicted felon telling a man that has a bounce check from 30 years ago, you're worse than me. And everybody on this platform actually believes it? That man has done nothing but damage Seth and Tony since he got his feelings hurt. And people are too stupid to realize it. And now he's got all these people, including Justin on TikTok, right? Justin on TikTok. I'm going to call him out too. No offense. I love Justin on TikTok. But you can clearly see the demeanor that Justin on TikTok has had since his association with Magnolia and JLR, a 3-time convicted felon, a fraudster, a person that knows what makes people tick, right? Somebody that knows how to get into somebody's checkbook without them knowing. That's the kind of fraudster he is. The sweet little boyish looks and the scams. Much like what he does on here. And if he doesn't get his way, he tries to seek and destroy. And he does it all behind the scenes like he has for years. You guys know he's done it for years. You guys turn the other cheek. Well, it's time for you not to turn the other cheek anymore, because not only is he damaging Seth, him and his crew are trying to damage Joe Petito and trying to control Joe Petito and where he goes and where he speaks. That is so un-American. And so communist Chinese party dictatorship to try to control another person. And if they don't comply, this is what they are going to do. They're going to destroy. I'm not even going to get into Dolly. Dolly's just a dumbass. He smokes too much pot. And he looks like he's been using some other substances other than marijuana. Just saying, from what I've been able to preview myself. Oh, and Dolly was trashing Joe yesterday. Wow. Wow. Trashing Joe Petito yesterday. So now you guys see it. It's all about the clicks and views. They're going to keep running to the people with the most clicks and views, and those people are dirty ass people that got those clicks and views by lies and scams. And when they want to attack, they all coordinate behind the scenes, much like Queen Bee and her people, right? Like they did to me. Must be taking their playbook. But they're not all involved. Okay. 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 Yes, Seth changed his, because once we found out Joe was not there, it was just, there's no point in having the same thumbnail. Joe was only going to be on there for like 10 or 15 minutes talking about the Gabby Foundation. That was really it. It was just to give him a platform to talk about his daughter. And they destroyed that. I mean, I want you to think about that. We're all here. We all came together predominantly because of Gabby Petito. And they literally just strong-armed her father. They just literally just strong-armed her father. And literally told him if he didn't comply, they were going to destroy him and dox him all over the internet. His personal private information. This is what you guys want to support? I mean, if it is, that's horrible to me. Absolutely horrible. My heart bleeds for Joe Petito. My heart bleeds for Seth Rogers. And I want to damn the people that did this. That don't care. That doesn't care how that has made both of these fathers feel. What it did to them inside of them. And they're all over there laughing? Oh, we're going to be watching this shit show in our Discord. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. So funny. So evil. This is pure evil. When I wouldn't comply with their bullshit, they doxed me. They literally put a roadmap to my home so some crazy lunatic would come here and hurt me. That's what they did. You know what I did? I grew a backbone and stood strong. And it's very upsetting that people, and until people are going to start being stronger and denounce them and tell them to go F themselves when they start threatening, I don't know what will. I don't know what will. But I think it is absolutely come to a head here in this community that there has got to be a line drawn in the sand. You're either going to be with evil people or you're going to be working with good people. And people need to make that decision. And they need to make that decision sooner than later, or this kind of conduct will continue on this platform. And we know who it's coming from. I got receipts. We have Barbecue Lady literally on her TikTok telling everybody to do that, which is associated with this group. And then we have everything coming from J is for Justice, which we know is connected to JLR, and the mysterious disappearance of Sebastian Rogers' group, where they're absolutely advocating for people to reach out in mass numbers to Joe Petito just for wanting to talk about his foundation. And this is all coming from who? Let's look. Don't want to screw up the receipts now, do we? We want to make sure that they're nice and I will never plug. Look at that. Who's that? Oh, is that J is for Justice? With that bullshit? Oh. But not as much as encouraging 40,000 people in their Facebook group like Ellie Mae Farmer. The biggest problem on Facebook when it comes, she's a thug that thinks she's the only one that's allowed to advocate for missing people on Facebook. These are pretty stinking solid receipts where the problems are coming from. Literally demanding 40,000 people to reach out to Joe Petito in the droves, but they didn't. They didn't talk to them about Seth or how horrible Seth is or how horrible Tony is. No. If you go on, this is what we are going to do to you. We're going to dox you. We're going to make sure everybody knows your home address. Oh, what? You guys think you could threaten the man and he wasn't going to tell the people how he was threatened? Yeah. He had no problem spitting out why he could not come on this show and the reasons why. And citing that he had no clue how ruthless it was and how toxic it has gotten on YouTube. That's pretty bad. That is pretty stinking bad. Once again, Jonathan Lee Riches and his misfits strike again and try to destroy. Because every last one of them is part of Jonathan Lee Riches' team. So how many blowjobs you getting there, Jonathan? Are you keeping in contact with Magnolia? Is she back in Palm Beach? Are you ignoring her too? Do you disappear on her? Do you not answer your phone with her? Are you with those other women in those back, behind Chili's in the back seat of the car there, Jonathan, Mr. Christian guy? Just asking. I got all the secrets. Got all the secrets. Just asking. I don't know. I'm curious. I'm not saying it's happening. You know? I'm not saying it's happening. I'm just curious if it has. Would you tell old Bullhorn Betty if it had? I'm just asking. A couple women out here, they don't care if you're with Magnolia. Just like Magnolia didn't care that you were with me. They're willing. You want me to have them meet you up there at the Chili's? Should I order you guys a round of margaritas with a nice salty rim for you there, Christian man? Oh, Chili's. Don't forget, cheap bastard. Right? The twofer special with the margaritas. Always a hit with JLR. Oh. Always a hit with JLR. How's that local Chili's? Hey, Magnolia! Have you been up at that local Chili's? I kept wondering why he had to sit so far away from me when we were at the Chili's, but I didn't know about you for a solid year. Now I just realized you must have been up there because, he was acting funny every time we went into Chili's, and I was like, well, why are you acting so funny there? Oh, because you're bringing other broads. Got it. How many times? Yeah, have you been watching his bank receipts? Are you reconciling his banks? Do you know how often he goes to Chili's? Man, that'd suck if you see him at Chili's once a week and you're in Palm Beach. Come on, Jonathan. How often are you going up to Chili's? Come on, tell us. There's only 835 people in here. We want to know. We want to know about these Chili visits. I'm sorry. Chili's is near and dear to my... Do you know I haven't been to Chili's since I left you? I'm just saying. It just doesn't have the same flavor it once did. Oh, sorry. So hopefully, this stuff calms down, but I think everybody needs to be kicking up a fuss about this because this was not them telling Joe Petito about Seth or about, Tony's record is impeccable. Let's be honest, okay? He's got an impeccable record. He has no criminal history that's been touted around. If you guys don't know that yet, let me just tell you, that was a bunk history for a 40-year-old black man. And they didn't even try to change the date of it either. It clearly said 40-year-old black man. I kept pointing that out, and everybody's like, oh, no, that's Tony. I'm like, no, it's not. So I ran Tony's background background check myself. I didn't even see the checks that came up on my background check because it was so far back. But he did acknowledge that it was like from 30 or some years ago. And I'll be honest with you, I still have a bounce check with Walmart for $23 and I think 76 cents from like 1960 or 1999, 98. So what? I don't know of anybody that has not had at least a bounce check once or twice. Unless you're a millionaire, which none of us are. Well, if you are in my chat and you are a millionaire, I do take donations. I just thought I'd throw that out there to all my millionaires, just in case you guys want to be a sugar daddy or something like that. Betty's single. I'm just saying. I'll give you kisses here. Right? I'm just saying. So, we have to, one of the purposes of me coming here was to let you guys know truly what happened. And it is really sad and upsetting to me, as you guys can imagine. I know I'm making light of some of it, trying to make it uplifting. as opposed to how horrible it truly, truly was that people would do that to a man that lost his daughter, that just wants to talk about his foundation. You know, people, like, they don't care what channels they go on. They care about the audience and how many people they can get information out to. And then I hear comments about how Joe Petito's making money off his daughter and all this other stuff, and it's horrible. Yet all these people can talk about anything they want to, and they can do it on monetized channels, and they have the audacity to talk about a parent that wants to set up a loving foundation to help other people, and that is a money grab now? So we should just say all these nonprofits are we should just take, oh, no, the only people that are allowed to make money off of them are the people that don't know these people, right? They're the only ones that can set up something in the honor of their child, but no, they can't do it. It needs to be a stranger that does it. So they can make the money. They can have their nonprofit, but a real true person that has lost their child's not supposed to. It's beyond disgusting. It's beyond absolutely intolerable in our civilized environment. And we need to start getting back to what we're willing to accept as human beings. We all have morals here, okay? I did not realize a lot of this stuff, and I know people are going to twist the words and everything like that, but you guys know how hard I've been working. I mean, hell, I was on the road for 2 solid years. I had no clue what was going on. I had no clue the wolf in sheep's clothing that I was with. I had no clue, okay? And then all of a sudden, all this stuff breaks off, and then my car breaks down. And I sat here literally for 3 months. I had nothing better to do than to watch everyone and to see what was going on. And it was like the blindness, that's the part about, you know, I was blind, but now I see. It's reality. Like, I can see, but I don't think that's what they're talking about seeing. You know? And I learned very much from being in the mysterious disappearance of Sebastian Rogers' group exactly what JLR was doing and exactly what his friends were doing. It was so clear on its face when I started monitoring and watching every little thing because I had the time. I wasn't sleeping well because of all the stress. So I was literally working about 18 hours a day, you know? And I was able to see exactly what I needed to see, and that was when I had an abrupt, and you guys know, a very, very loud, abrupt exit from the crama, because you know what? I didn't know it was crama. I thought it was really true crime, you know? But I realized that there is true crime on this channel, and that is not it, or on this platform. And what we're getting from them is not it. And what I used to think was acceptable was no longer acceptable for me. And I'm hoping that you guys say it's no longer acceptable for you too, because what they just did to Joe Petito, of all people, was an abomination. It was disgusting. It was thuggery. It was vile. It was bullshit. And it needs to stop. Trying to control the will of another person you do not know is literally the most un-American and most third world country dictator bullshit you could ever do to a human being, and that is exactly what they did to Joe Petito. Now, in an hour, I hope you all still come over and support Seth Rogers and his show. I think it's going to be, you guys are going to see something that you guys have not seen before. Why? Because none of these assholes have what Seth has related to his own son. There is that. So if you would like to learn a little bit about Sebastian, and you would like to keep it about Sebastian and not this bullshit on these channels, then I hope you guys come over and join us and learn a little more about Sebastian, because at the end of the day, it's about making sure Sebastian is known, humanizing Sebastian, because he is a human being that doesn't deserve to be away from his father, and he has been gone for almost 6 months. And Jonathan Lee Riches, remember that text message I sent you about the things that I plan on doing? We can say that that is in full effect at this moment. I'll be seeing you soon, sir. God bless the rest of you. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. If you see something, say something. Because an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe. But more importantly, let's not be the toxic shit here on TikTok and YouTube, and be better than them. And just be kind to thy neighbor. God bless.